Great. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Claudia Malley. I am the Managing Director of Partnerships at Economist Impact. And I'm joined today by Salil Parekh, the CEO of Infosys, and Lara Boro, the CEO of the Economist Group, to discuss and unpack what I think is, arguably one of the most important issues today facing us, right? How do we advance sustainability progress? And how do we do that through collaboration and partnership? In full transparency, our organizations are working very closely together on Economist Impact's sustainability project. Infosys is our digital innovation partner that has allowed us to build this digital forum, which is designed with the ambition to both advance sustainability solutions, but also really drive world-changing impact. And, as we explore the role of collaboration and partnerships in driving sustainability progress, we thought it would be really interesting to bring together both of the leaders of these organizations and hear from you and really talk about what does sustainability progress mean in terms of partnership. The theme of this year's, the 7th annual Sustainability Week, is accelerating transition and building resistance. And as you take a step back and think about that as leaders of respective organizations, really, what is it about, leadership that allows us to really drive progress? And Lara, maybe we start with you, and maybe you can share a little bit about what the Economist Group is doing to drive progress and affect change through sustainability.
Thank you, Claudia. Hello, everybody. Delighted to be here. And thank you, Salil, for joining us. As I think you know, the Economist Group is trusted by millions of readers and businesses and governments across the world to provide independent, fact-based information analysis on the key issues shaping the world. And clearly, sustainability is one of those issues today and will remain for years to come. Our mission, our purpose is to advocate and champion progress. And the reality is that climate change and the crisis that we have ahead is absolutely threatening progress for our societies in years to come. And so what we have been doing through The Economist for over 30 years is gradually building the case for change, making sure that people have the facts and the rigor and the analysis to be able to make decisions, whether they're readers or governments or NGOs, and to bring to bear and bring to light technologies and progress, always hopefully with a positive spin, that allow people to envision a different future. And so, we have bolstered our journalism. Our first climate issue came out in 2019. We today produce not only great articles, but we have newsletters, a number of different formats, new podcasts. We have information coming from the EIU. We have a number of events, and we're doing all we can to bring together all of the different influences to try and accelerate and catalyze this positive change. Of course, we couldn't do that credibly if we didn't have our own house in order. So we have, of course, also been working very hard to make sure that our own carbon footprint, which largely comes from the fact that readers still love our print magazine, is on a path to net zero. We were one of the first media organizations to have a SBTI approved target. We are on well on our path to reduce our own carbon footprint by 25% by 2025, and then 50% 2030, and net zero by 2045. And I hope we'll do much better than that. So we are very well aware that people look at us as a role model. We are very transparent with our measurement and our metrics. We are also investing, albeit at a small scale, in technologies and projects that we believe are showing the way. So we invested in Climeworks, which is a carbon extraction technology a couple of years ago. We're looking at new projects today where we believe there are interesting things happening, and we would like the world to be aware of them. So that's a bit about us.
Interesting. I mean, I think the themes that come out of that, right, the transparency, the commitments, should probably ring true across so many organizations. Salil, from Infosys, where are you in terms of sustainability? And it would be great if you could share more about what you're doing at Infosys.
Sure. Well, thanks, Claudia, and thank you for having me here. It's really a pleasure to be here, Economist Forum, discussing an area which is sort of close to all of us and to many of our clients as well. Now, where we are at Infosys first, we are focused for last several years on carbon neutrality, and we were fortunate in 2020 to announce and complete becoming carbon neutral as an organization. And this is something that was put in place maybe 15 years ago with the founders of the company, very much focused at that time on the concept of being conscious about the carbon footprint. And with a number of measures and actions that we've taken upon ourselves, that has come through. The second, we've sort of set forth a fairly ambitious roadmap for ESG, part of which is sustainability for 2030. So we want to take what we're doing now to really a different level. We've defined publicly various parameters on each of the three dimensions, and those are something we report and track on an ongoing basis each quarter and on an annual scale. And the third, we've also seen increased interest with large global enterprises that we serve in doing more for their sustainability effort. And there we've sort of started to see work on smart spaces, on decarbonization, on launching things which are carbon neutral or low carbon in the new cloud environment, on digital reskilling. And these are areas that we are driving within what we call our sustainability practice, and we start to see good traction in that. So the idea for us to take what we've done to become carbon neutral, really apply all of the things we've learned into the market, set a set of ambitious goals which drive us publicly and internally for ESG for 2030, and then start to work with our clients on their sustainability agenda.
It is. It is good to know, right, that everybody is focused in this way, and I think there's this increased, not just urgency, but increased priority across so many businesses, and hearing from you all about that just reinforces the importance. And I think at the same time, as you think about new ways of working and how to integrate sustainability, horizontally across organizations. There's also, there have to be new models of partnership and collaboration that come forth. And probably more important now than ever to start to inspire ourselves to think differently. And especially with the urgency that we have in terms of, balancing, our maybe human aspirations with our planet's our planet's abilities to sustain them. And as I think, why we launched the sustainability project at Economist Impact was really to leverage our collective strengths and really bring focus and leadership to allow us to inform the discourse and be able to really drive progress around the critical issues, whether that's some of the areas we focus on around resilience or net zero and energy or circular economy or even social sustainability that we focus on within the sustainability project. And it's interesting because, like, at its core, the sustainability project is really about partnership, which we've designed together with our digital innovation partnership, Salil, and Infosys. And I think, if it really works, it's going to be not just to spotlight the work that we do with a vast range of partners globally on their work, but also to bring together a global community to allow us to engage that global community in really driving change. So, it's really a platform rooted in partnership. And so maybe we can dig a little bit into partnership from the two of you, and maybe Salil, hear from you. Why did Infosys decide to get into the partnership, the digital innovation partnership with the Sustainability Project and Economist Impact, and why now? It'd be really interesting to hear a bit from you about that.
I think what we've looked at and seen the sustainability project and the work that the Economist is doing, what Lara was sharing a little bit earlier, is tremendous impact. So, firstly, it's fully transparent. It's really putting in front of people the information and the tools that are needed to make change. And that makes a huge difference. Economist, of course, is an extremely trusted source of information and really as objective as one can get in this environment across multiple dimensions, and especially on sustainability. So we were delighted to really partner here. What we bring to the table are technology platforms which enable some of this partnership to go further and to go faster. And we think joined up, this can create tremendous impact across the world. So, of course, there's a huge amount of impact that we see making with our clients, but we also see that impact coming through with all of the distribution that you have, the economists have, and that the sustainability project can generate for what can be a huge change in the way this is perceived and then acted upon by large government organizations, NGOs, and large enterprises.
Yeah. Oh, great. And it's just the beginning, which is the most exciting. Six months in. Lara, can you speak a little bit? I think as we continue to unpack this role of partnership and a little bit about the principles behind the Economist Impact and the Economist Group's partnership approach, and what you think makes a good partnership.
Yes, of course. I think we start with some of these large societal challenges we face will never be solved by a single company or a single government or a single country. And the only way to address these challenges is through global collaboration and through partnerships. And to me, that means like-minded organizations coming together to with a common vision and purpose, but also with the humility and acceptance that there are experiences that others have that you can benefit from, and expertise that you can share, and that will drive to that shared future in a more rapid way. And that, I think, was behind us launching Economist Impact, which is a new business line for us, launched this year, where we brought together what we believe are our core competencies, rigorous policy research, creativity of a media organization, our amplification channels to what we believe is the world's most influential global audience. And we're putting those competencies alongside partners to ensure that we address large societal problems. We talked about sustainability, and today's all about that, but we also work in healthcare and in sort of new globalization. But staying on sustainability, we've had some very successful partnerships. We're talking today, of course, about our partnership with Infosys, our digital innovation partner on the sustainability project, where we're bringing together our ability to generate content and insight in a transparent way, again, catalyzing the debate and sharing information expertise, together with the ability today to use digital platforms as an accelerator, right? And we'll talk a bit more about everything now is digital, and I think that is an advantage, although it also has its downsides. But we work with other organizations, such as, for instance, the Nippon Foundation on the Blue Index, which is a partnership around ensuring our oceans are more sustainable, with the Barilla Food Center for Nutrition around the Food Security Index. There are a number of initiatives that we're undertaking with like-minded partners to make sure that we are bringing our expertise and our experience together with theirs to create these platforms, these online forums, digital platforms that are here to catalyze change, which again, we believe can only be solved by bringing people together.
Mm-hmm. I might pick up on the point just on the digital side, because I think the role of digital transformation, there's such a discussion around, what is the role of digital transformation to enable sustainability progress. And so maybe, Lara, you could go a little bit further as a global information and media company. How have the digital efforts really contributed to sustainability progress?
Yes, well, look, in media, we've all lived to work through this sort of digital transformation, and I think at the Economist Group, we're maybe only halfway through it. So, and like many organizations, I think we saw COVID and the pandemic really accelerate. We've called that acceleration at The Economist, accelerate the rate of change and adoption. And I'm an optimist, and therefore I think mostly in a good way, allowing companies, governments, etc., healthcare providers to leapfrog years of what otherwise would have been painful transformation, aided by technology partners. For us, what that has meant, of course, is that when I joined The Economist only a couple of years ago, our subscribers, our readers, were mostly reading us in traditional media, print in particular. Today, most of our new customers, over 60%, subscribe to us in digital only. So that's just one metric. Most of our innovation, the way we have launched, for instance, our new educational program, Economist Education, all of our new products for the Economist Intelligence Unit, Economist Impact, and of course, all these platforms of change that we're talking about, the Sustainability Project, these events that we're all part of, are all digital, right? And none of this, the ability to bring what is here today, thousands of delegates together with hundreds of experts and sponsors, would have been almost impossible even before the pandemic, right? We would have all had to fly somewhere, and that, of course, has its own carbon footprint issue. So I think digital transformation used correctly and applied correctly can absolutely be a catalyst for change. And I am very hopeful that we will use these challenges and these forums to accelerate much needed transition.
Right. Salil, maybe you can share a little bit what you see as the real opportunity for global businesses to accelerate their sustainability journey and by leveraging digital technologies. Be really interested in your perspective there.
Well, absolutely. I think we see, sort of building on what Lara was just describing, digital transformation today is absolutely the core, and as was shared, it is accelerated in many ways what large enterprises, certainly that we work with, would have seen many years to come to fore. Now, in the way looking at sustainability, there are areas, for example, when companies deploy large cloud platforms which become part of the transformation story. Today, that deployment can be tailored to be more carbon efficient as they go through it, making a huge difference in what the eventual carbon footprint for clients would be. The way digital transformation human experience is designed. For example, how each of us use apps from large companies for whom we are customers, those can be designed with efficiency, keeping in mind both wellness and also some sort of intuitive learning, intuitive usage, less impact, and that creates a level of impact within the sustainability arena. There's work in the way spaces are organized as and when people do hybrid in office, which impacts energy. We've launched something called Energy as a Service, which enables variability in the use of energy and impact on sustainability. So the digital transformation agenda and the sustainability imperative that our large clients are seeing allow them to really drive them jointly, not sequentially, and making sure that each is looking at what the impact on the other is without creating a negative impact. And that to me gives us a huge benefit as companies are going through digital transformation, making sure that they're keeping in the forefront thinking about sustainability and a number of other factors. For example, there's a lot of thinking today on hybrid working. There's a lot of thinking on flexibility with the workforce. There's a lot of thinking on mental health with employees. There's also a lot of thinking which we are seeing, which is related to digital skilling and reskilling. And these are areas which are somewhat tangential with sustainability, but all come into play when we are driving digital transformation.
Mhm. It's so interesting when you start to really think about the different things that are happening, right? And the way that we need to respond to them and change how we respond to them, and how digital can play such a critical role in enabling that. Well, I think we're almost at time here, and so I just want to take a moment to thank both of you for the discussion today. I think we could have probably gone longer, and hopefully we'll be back at another Sustainability Week to continue the conversation, and drive forward progress together. So I just want to say thank you both of you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Claudia.